upside down. Hey, man.
Hey.
Continuous improvement. So what's our 8-ball question?
So
wait a minute.
Let's do the thing first.
The thing. We got to do the thing. It is January 31st.
Correct.
It's payday, which we mentioned last week.
Yes, it was.
And I'm Chris.
I'm Charlie.
And we are
8-ballin'. Yeah. And today we're going to start the show off with a old tradition, something that we need to keep on doing with the spirit of the show. Now, the question I have for the 8-ball is pertinent to all of us. I apologize if the outcome is, disappointing, but we have to know. So, 8-ball, is the coronavirus going to wipe out the entirety of the United States?
I'm nervous about this one.
My sources say no. All right, people, are safe. That shit disease is going to stay in Asia where it belongs. All right.
I don't know if you noticed I changed the sound.
A little bit,
I
yeah.
cropped off the deepness of our voices.
I was going to say, it seems like it falls off a little bit sooner.
Yeah, so it's 100% natural. All right, so...
Did you do that just to make your voice sound as deep as mine?
No, I was just
'Cause you're
listening to
embarrassed?
it, and then I was listening to our microphones compared to Rogan and Bernie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, they sound so much deeper. I don't remember our voices, being inferior to those mics. And then I went and looked at the settings, and I remember I cut off our low end. So
now we okay, I got you.
so it's back.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
It's more audible in a car or on like a phone without the deep, but fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Cheers.
All right, so here's the 20 money.
20 fucking money, baby.
And I had a calendar revelation. So every time somebody would say like, yeah, 19th century and 20th century, my brain was always like, the 20th century was yesterday. Why do you say it? Like it wasn't yesterday.
We're only 20 years into the 20. Yeah.
That's where my mind, I'm like, holy shit, we're 20 years in. So we're 1/5 into this millennia or this century.
Yeah, century.
This century. So I was like, yeah, it's legit. I mean, it is in the rearview mirror. It is in the rearview mirror. And my own little personal thing, like if you're taking a trip or if you're measuring something, 10% is the number. Like if you got a 300-mile trip, I don't start counting
30 miles
until 30.
Because I feel like 30 miles in, you're not even on the road you need to be on yet.
Yeah, but you made a dent. It's 10%.
Yeah.
It's the Chris's own personal 10% rule.
I just remember the up north. For me, it's always 275, right? So I just go, it's like 17 miles to get to, 696 and then, or 23. I forget. And then it's 31 miles from there to get onto
75.
Yeah. And that's where I start because it's 197 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that was my little thing. I
It's
mean,
a random tangent. Apologize.
the 20th century is totally in the rearview mirror. We're in the 21st century.
Now, think we're 20 years into this century. How far are we from the Industrial Revolution and how freaking short of a time span is that? What, the
Well,
19...
It started around 1800.
1800, you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm not as good as I thought I was on the math. I was thinking like 19th or 20th century.
Oh, no. No. We had steam engines in like 1830.
Well, there you go, folks. Oh, yeah, because they had shit like that in Civil War, obviously.
Riverboats and yeah.
Stupid. Wow. It's Charlie's 2020s.
The Monitor and the
not off to a good start.
Merrimack. Do you remember them? The ship.
Yeah, the Monitor and the Merrimack, the two ironclad ships.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Merrimack was the Confederate and the Monitor was the Union ship. And that Monitor, man, that's a dumb looking ship. I feel like that Confederate.
That's the flat one with the turret.
With the stupid little circle.
Yeah, but it won because they couldn't hit it.
Yeah, but it
They'd
was
shoot cannonballs and it just bounce off the deck.
Yeah, but it was like a null. It was like a what the fuck? A draw. It was like a draw.
Okay. I thought
The Monitor didn't
the flat
win.
top ship won.
I thought they fought for like 3 days or some shit, and then there was no. Or is that Jesus? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't either. All right. So should we delve into some shit?
Yeah, go for it.
You kind of want to talk about impeachment for a little bit, don't you? Not necessarily.
It's so like.
Hi, Lucy.
It's such a like should be interesting story that's really like a nothing burger. I feel like there's nothing going
It
on.
depends who you are. I tend to agree with you,
It's like kind of sad.
but a lot of people are losing their minds right now. Today's the day. If you're not connecting today with whenever you might be watching this, that it was voted 51-49 that they're not bringing in more witnesses. So
Friday the 31st.
it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah. Yes, Wednesday is the final vote.
Final vote. So
That's
here's
so crazy.
something. I'm going to totally shift gears. I wasn't going to start with this.
Go for it.
And this is not going to sit well with people, and tell me what you think. So Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash.
Mm-hmm.
So a guy died,
Yeah.
and that's awful and terrible. He had 3 kids, relatively young, loving husband, on and on. Tragic. On that same day, not quite 7,500 other people died just in America. On that same day, in that 7,500, 100 people died in car wrecks. They weren't superstar basketball players, but when something like that happens, to me, it trivializes all the other tragedy in the world. Everyone, Kobe this, Kobe, he's a fucking basketball player. And again, death sucks, and losing a husband and a father, that's very important. But he's not more of a father, more of a mate, more of a whatever, because he's a famous basketball player. So to me, it diminishes all the lives of all the other people who were mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters to somebody.
Gotta disagree.
Bring it on.
I like that. Bring it on. Like, Kobe died, arguably, I mean, not arguably, factually, his circle was bigger. So, like, the circle of people who knew him or knew who he was or cared about him emotionally, whatever it is, like ideologically. I feel like some sports ideology going on there, right? I don't watch ESPN. But now think about all those 7,500 other people who died, who had circles, weren't necessarily excuse me, circles like Kobe, but those people cared about the deaths of others. I mean, I would hope, right? Now, to ask America to care about the 7,500 other people when, unbeknownst to them, those people are now no longer living, it's like, it's kind of unfair, if you ask me. So, like, it doesn't trivialize or diminish what their lives meant or their death, because it's hard to ask that you get a similar reaction on a non-person. You know what I mean?
I wasn't suggesting that, but his sphere was larger because he got paid tens and probably ultimately hundreds of millions of dollars to play basketball, and that's it. And oh, by the way, he raped a chick in 2002 and probably should have gone to jail.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
So
yeah, it's rough.
Sorry, man. I mean, facts are facts.
Yeah. How shitty would that be if someone immediately was just like, good, he's dead, he's a rapist.
Well, here, so I'm going to take this another direction when we're done on this part of, I don't know. I just always react that way when a celebrity dies and they're just heralded and fucking celebrated and missed so badly. And really? Again, death sucks, and death is always tragic, and it's always a loss, and he had kids, which makes it more of a loss, and I acknowledge that. But it's not he's one man.
Yeah.
He's one man who a lot of people enjoyed watching play basketball.
Yeah.
And if that should resonate with anybody, it should resonate with you.
Me?
He fucking played hoops and got overpaid for it.
Yeah. I'm not one to tell people what they should and shouldn't care about.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there are all these other tragedies that aren't news, and it's sad. One man, one vote, one man, one death. I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah.
To me.
Okay.
That's my point.
We've got a really hard time. Because here's what I'm inclined to say, and I apologize.
No,
it's going to sound harsh.
You don't have to agree with me.
It's gonna sound really harsh. And I don't mean it in a harsh way. I just want to point that out before I say this caveat. I just mean it in like let's be realistic about it. If you are more deserving of news reporting on your death, then be more fucking important. Right?
Okay, I agree it's a bigger story. For sure. But my issue is that it's not more tragic. His death is not more tragic. His life isn't and wasn't more important than any other person.
What about when JFK got shot? Was that as equally tragic as everybody else that died that day?
Well, when you get into people who actually changed and or lived their life trying to change other people's lives for the better, yeah, then that's what that is something.
So it comes down
So Kobe
to
he fucking played hoops. There was this actor who died. He was the guy who played the snot-nosed kid in Scent of a Woman. And he was this guy, he fell out of favor with Hollywood. He had all this depression. He was like kind of a big fat loser. And then he got himself together enough to get a few more acting gigs.
yeah.
And he was purportedly talented. And he committed suicide. And it was like so tragic. And he was such a beautiful man. And, you know, the depression got heralded. And I was like because he was troubled and because he combined that with the movie star, it was this huge fucking loss. Well, what about the troubled kid who committed suicide alone, who had shitty parents or maybe no parents?
Who's nobody?
Who's nobody?
Doesn't that guy represent that other guy?
No, that guy still got lucky, lived in Hollywood, got paid shitloads of money to pretend, versus like a fucking, and I don't know, maybe I think there's levels of misery, but that's not even the point. The lonely, miserable teenager who had nobody, and offed him or herself. I don't know. And it doesn't make the news, and it happens every day. It doesn't even make the news. They don't even say, hey, you know what? 7,500 people in America died today. Fucking sayonara. Go with God. Whatever.
No.
Kobe died. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
7,500 people died. Not even a fucking mention.
Yeah. That's okay. That's a fair point. I thought you just meant in terms of the coverage or the.
No, that his death is more tragic than somebody else necessarily.
And I see. I have no good way of rating tragedy. Right. So I would say, I'll combine. If it was like 7,500 people died, if you're putting them in one pool and then Kobe Bryant in one pool, I'd say, yeah, let's trade up Kobe Bryant any day for those 7,500.
Well, I'm not saying like he's worth 7,500 points.
No. I know that's not what it is, but that's how my
so
brain.
It's a wash.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can understand that, but I don't. The tragedy level shit to me that means nothing. It's like people are gonna feel what they're gonna feel, and I feel the way I feel.
Half the reason they feel the way they feel is because it's a fucking news story.
Yeah, it's stupid.
If they say, oh, in the sports, oh, Kobe Bryant died, and nobody expounded on it at all,
and they're like, in further news,
right?
There is also, yeah. We're looking to get a low pressure system moving in.
But I mean, he's one of the the 5 or 10 best players in the history of the NBA, so that makes his life worth more.
Yeah,
it just pisses me off.
Okay, I'm emotionally disconnected from that. I don't.
And it is personal. This is a personal thing to me. So, as I always think, I'm right. Subscribe to my personal feelings.
This just in: Chris is right again.
One
more time.
Thanks for that. All right, so leveraging this whole thing. There was some serious irony in that particular tragedy and the whole helicopter thing. So because he wanted to get to church on time so he could do other things, and when he was in the NBA, he had owned a helicopter and had a private pilot.
And flew everywhere, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he wanted to get to church to make 7 o'clock mass. And I think he had a special arrangement where he and his daughter got mass before, unlike regular people could arrange.
Peons. Yeah.
So he's flying there in a helicopter at, God knows how many dollars per minute or hour, right? To go get preferential treatment, go do his Catholic service, get out of there, fly someplace else. Now, who mourned his loss the most? Press and other celebrities.
You mean perceived mourning? Because
That's fair.
Yeah, so perceived mourning, yeah, whatever. Press, people in the news, ESPN, basketball guys, whatever. And I think realistically, it was those same basketball guys who are like, "Fuck, Kobe died," you know.
Take basketball players out of it. Press and celebrity.
Sure.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Who admonishes things like use of a personal helicopter? Press and celebrities.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos is a fucking helicopter. He's evil, blah, blah, blah. If Jeff Bezos died in a helicopter crash, I bet you'd get a lot of fucker deserved it.
Wow, really?
I'll bet. And when Kobe was in the NBA, apparently, because LA traffic was so bad, he had his own personal helicopter and helipad, and he was the first guy there and the last guy to leave.
Because he says the
helicopter, and that's part of it. And the helicopter travel was, like neat and part of the deal and applauded because he was such a hard worker and he was making more hours out of his day. Well, two people, and I even brought this up, fucking Mika fucking Brzezinski, my girlfriend, brought up the helipad thing probably a year ago, and I've mentioned it before. And in the Joe Rogan thing with Bernie Sanders, Bernie was like, "In personal helipads, blah, blah, blah."
What?
They're admonishing people who have
Helicopter.
personal helipads. And in this case, Kobe was like, he was such a hard worker, he had a fucking helicopter. Well, so does Jeff Bezos.
And a lot of other people
and they're all vilified for it. It's fucking bullshit. Think about what you think, people.
Doesn't John Travolta have literally like an airport out the fucking...
He has like a 707, or he has some huge.
It's like a bunch of planes, but he has one that's a big ass plane.
And he bought it used, or it might be a DC-9. He bought it used.
It's like there's an airstrip like off of his house, right? That's the way I understand
that. I don't know.
It's like you can walk out back.
He has a fucking airliner.
Yeah,
but it's like 40 years old. He bought it for like $10,000 or something. But anyway,
that's a sweet deal.
Yeah, I guess it takes some balls to fly
a fucking 40-year-old jet that you have to have privately maintained.
Right, that weighs 30 tons or whatever it weighs.
It's a flying rock.
Yeah.
No, a helicopter's a flying rock. That was your first mistake, and I'm not willing to say I apologize for that. It was flying in a fucking helicopter in the fog.
Well, the fog was the issue. I mean, helicopters mechanically.
You can fly IFR. You can't, don't fly VFR in a fucking fog storm, whatever you want to call it. Stupid California.
I don't know if you know this, and this was reported, but it never got expounded upon, that the guy applied for when he filed his flight plan, he didn't want to file a VFR flight plan, and he got some special, either permission or special.
It's called special VFR rules, or visual flight rules.
Okay.
Or it's, what the fuck? It's either special or it's just a more strict version of a VFR.
Yeah, because the guy, I think, thought he might run into the fog situation.
Or a mountain.
Or a mountain or whatever.
You see the picture of the crash? It was like...
I've being true to myself, I've tuned it out. When it comes on, I turn the channel. And it's not because, again, a dad died. That's what's tragic to me.
Yeah.
Not a guy who scored, 10,000 points in the
Right.
NBA.
That's the part that I think about, too. It's like, man, he was there with his kid and then, like, some other kid and their parent or whatever. And
their family's reeling. And they'll never totally recover. You don't. But, I don't know. It just fucking pushes my buttons when celebrities die and it's a more valuable and celebrated life. And is recognized as such, and it makes me want to puke.
And the sadder part to me about it, not the family thing, that's horrible, but the plane, like the helicopter when it crashed, like I'm telling you, the picture of like the crash, it's like there's the impact point and then all the debris and like
strewn about
marks is going up the mountain. They're going at 150 knots, I think, when they collided.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pilot error.
There's no doubt it's awful. There's no doubt it's awful. But, so that week, 7,500 times 7 days is over 50,000 people. How many dads with 3 kids died that week? I'm sure plenty. That's my point. You know, the story lasted a week. 50,000 people died in only just in the United States.
So
and I'm sure lots of them didn't rape somebody in 2002. Sorry, I mean, I'm kind of hammering that home, but
I did not.
He was acquitted. He was acquitted, but it smelled wrong. Just
I see what you're saying.
There's so many
tragics.
Tragedies that just don't get covered because they're not famous. Oh, they're not famous, so why report on a death? Fair enough, but it kind of disgusts me.
I see where you're coming from. It's just, to me, the alternative is way more bizarre, where it's just like the newscaster. And Kobe Bryant died today in a helicopter crash. Like wishes to the family. And in other news, Super Bowl's coming up on Saturday or on Sunday, and we have, like you just gloss over it and you just go, best wishes or whatever, and then like that's it. I can't. That'd be so weird to me. Everyone would be sitting at home being like, "What?
Your Mr. Sports aren't important."
Back. Yeah, I don't fucking care about sports. I'm just saying it would be weird to me if that wasn't the reaction. That's what I expect from people, just to be shitty and like whatever.
Oh, I'm not saying that it doesn't completely fit with.
Oh, yeah, okay.
With society and
yeah, I get that.
Some of the fucked up things that people place importance on. Yeah. I'm not saying that at all. Again, it's one man, one tragedy, right? He'll be missed as a basketball player. Oh, and by the way, he retired at 2, 3, 10 years ago. I don't know.
I think it was like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, whatever. I like, honestly, who gives a fuck? At the same time, I really couldn't care less.
I'm not saying I don't give a fuck, but I care about everybody that dies. It's tragic.
Yeah.
Any dad with 3 kids who's a good dad, right?
Yeah.
So, but apparently he was a more important dad because he dribbled a ball well. And I'm a sports fan, and you're not.
I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. That just seems to be the just argument here.
I understand why it sells ads. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like, be more important, and that's what you'll get. But whatever. That's what it comes down to, right?
All right. So that is a whole different angle, which I don't.
That's what I said earlier.
With.
I said I'm not going to apologize for this. But this is going to kind of be
right. So if Jeff Bezos dies in a helicopter crash, Ricky, no, I don't want to do it today. I'm sorry, buddy.
Storming the.
He's killing my foot.
Oh yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
Now, if his influence was a matter of his, or I guess the volume of tragedy is a matter of his influence, then, and so on. That's where you're going.
I don't remember. We kind of killed it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Right. If Jeff Bezos died in a helicopter crash, I would expect the news to be equally as large. It would just be interesting to see the degree to which it's viewed as a tragedy versus, just
news.
A nice version of Darwinism for the people that hate him.
I love that. But do you know anybody who imposes Darwin, like, who isn't like you and I?
I just made it up.
I'm saying no normal person is comparing. I shouldn't say normal person. I'm talking about you, viewer. I'm just joking.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. So
actually, they don't. But
yeah, somebody who invokes like Darwinistic, whatever teachings on like Jeff Bezos died in a helicopter crash. That's what rich people get. Like, you're flying a helicopter. That's nature taking you out.
Right. It's rich person Darwinism. That's where my head went.
Right.
Rich guy, helicopter, inferior machinery, death.
You should have stayed on the ground. Rocket Man.
Right. Rocket Man.
Could you imagine who in America, if they died today, people would be like, and fuck you, like newscasters would be like, and that's what you goddamn deserve. That's right.
Right. And 7,499 other people didn't die, and you didn't do anything great, so reap what you sow, you losers.
I fucking don't mean it like that. I'm just saying you're making like a hubbub about a thing that was going to happen anyway and would have happened to those people were they of the same stature.
Those things
That's the most coherent I can make it.
Always push my buttons. Okay. It's the first time it came up since we've been doing this.
Just mad at water for being wet.
Fine. If that's how trivial it seems. That's okay.
You got to focus on the big picture.
Again, you got to remember, the impetus for this show originally was catharsis for me.
Okay. I'll indulge you. Apologize.
No, don't apologize. It's better when you disagree.
I agree. I mean, I disagree.
Right.
Is that better?
Right. All right. So I think we milked that guy.
No, that's dead.
That's
Not
dead.
unlike Kobe.
Free education, Bernie, virtually free. So I was just telling Charlie, Bernie Sanders was on Joe Rogan in the summertime. And for whatever reason, because he said, hey, Joe Rogan said he was going to vote for me. And kind of, I don't know who used the words endorsed, but then he put a video clip up and he got huge blowback because idiots who don't truly know who Joe Rogan is and or have not watched his show
Idiots.
to understand that he's basically a flower child kind of wrapped in a couple non-flower child veils like his MMA gig and his love for hunting. But he's a fucking flower child. He smokes pot every day and preaches kindness and, you know.
Other than the homicidal maniac part of him, he's like a flowery, flimsy wimp person.
Well, he stopped fighting 20 years ago.
Yes, but that's still in his eyes.
But
Every now and then.
He's a hippie, man.
Maybe he's got some of that CTE going on. He's just like bouncing around between moments in his life. He's
Could
like, what's
be.
going on?
Could be.
No, I agree. I apologize, Joe Rogan. You're
So anyway,
he's a guy.
CNN called him a racist.
So fucking ridiculous.
He's a racist, homophobic, or transphobic. It was three things: racist, transphobic, and something else. And I was like, oh my gosh. And Bernie's whatever. People are clueless.
That's fucking retarded. And Bernie's not, I would imagine, not like that either. You couldn't make it that far in the Democratic Party, I don't think, if you're like that known as being racist or sexist or anything like that.
Yeah, but Bernie
couldn't win in 2020. That's Trump. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. You know, from some perspectives, they're both 70-ish white guys.
Yeah.
So they're clones.
From a lot of perspectives, most people.
No, people love Bernie.
Gordy said
So
he might
anyway,
vote for him.
Gordy's going to vote for him?
He said he might. He said he would like it if Bernie won.
If it's Bernie versus Trump, I'm writing myself in. I think I already said that before. Sorry.
That's okay. I accept. It's not my decision to decide who you vote for. It's not up to me to decide that.
As a matter of principle, I'm not fucking voting for somebody I don't want to be president.
Do you want a tangent on that? The philosophy of, like, did I tell you about my thoughts on, like, the voting?
No, let's go with it.
I think it's wrong. The voting is wrong. It's fucked up in at least one sense and not in a realistic sense, more of like just a philosophical sense. It's like you're deciding who's going to run someone else's life at some level. It's not just you that your vote impacts. So it's a form of control.
That I'm exercising?
No, that if I vote, pull Donald Trump's lever and you vote for Bernie and Donald Trump becomes president, it's kind of like your vote doesn't fucking mean anything and I'm, imposing my rule on you.
Right.
At some levels,
well,
right?
I don't know if we talked about this on the show or outside of here, but so people would argue that that's a vote that got wasted. But lessons learned, because let's say Trump wins. So Hillary, it was fucking hers to lose. She fucked up.
Yeah.
If Trump wins again, the Democrats, if they can't look in the mirror or in the rearview mirror or both and say, we fucked up and didn't listen to the common sense folk who said, you need to get somebody who's electable if you want them to be elected. That's kind of like the being mad at water because you got wet thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever your cliche was. You have to get somebody who's electable in the election, or it's just an exercise in futility. But anyway, so what they're going to do is they're going to say, like when Ross Perot ran or when independents run and people vote for them, if Hillary is gnawing, on her fist, why'd I lose? And part of it was I didn't get the independent votes because I didn't court them.
Yeah.
I'm making that statement by not voting for either.
Okay.
And whoever loses is going to be, I failed to get that guy. So what I'm doing is investing in them doing the right fucking thing moving forward.
Yeah.
I would like to have I would love it where they're both so fucking solid and so common sense and so good at policy
That you have a
and
hard
foreign
time
affairs
deciding.
that I'm like, wow, I got two great candidates to pick from. Right? The Republicans not so freaking far right that I can't stand them, and the Democrats not so far left that I can't get on board with, hey, people need a safety net and some other shit that Democrats espouse. And again, how good would it be to have to struggle to make a decision? And when it's a decision on not the lesser of two evils, but the better of two greats.
So your ideal candidate is the personification of a compromise. Yes.
Of what do you mean? A compromise once they're in office?
What you're saying is not too this way, not too that way. That is someone who's a moderate in the middle, right? Or at least one way, right?
Yeah.
And in essence, especially when shit is going more and more polarizing and divisive, you're talking about a compromise, like someone who's in the middle.
If I must concede to that, sure.
That's weak. It's weak as fuck. You gotta stick to your guns, Chris.
You're missing the point.
I know what I get it.
I'd love to have two great people. The difficulty is they're so competent and they're so good that it's difficult to make a choice.
You preface all that describing the qualities that they would have, as in not too far left or not too far right, where that you couldn't stand them for either of those qualities.
Yes. But I land, economically slightly right of center, and I land socially slightly left of center. And so that's who I want. Somebody who's right around that fucking center point.
I would agree. That's who I want too, but it's not. I don't know.
Well, so why you busting my balls?
It's just I fucking started off on the disagreement note, and now I'm slightly buzzed because of the tequila. So.
Oh, okay. That's
so
fine.
I gotta fucking. We need the rudder. You ever seen
Anyway.
Opie and Anthony? They say that Opie was just the rudder of the show. He didn't actually provide anything. He just kept it on track.
Okay.
We need an Opie.
Who's the guy who's still doing it?
Anthony.
Okay.
Anthony Cumia.
Wait, so Anthony's the color guy, and Opie's the rudder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Opie's nothing. He's dead now. Not really, but he's
Gone, right?
Nobody gives a fuck. Yeah. He's got some stupid show or whatever. But yeah, Anthony does all the
I saw him on, I don't know,
Fox
maybe
News or some
Rogan.
shit. Yeah, Rogan, he did a few times.
He's amusing.
Yeah, he's very amusing. I met him actually in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's it's so funny. A lot of guys like Malice, I think guys who were kind of dorky growing up, they're making up for it now.
Fucking nerd.
And yeah. They're making up for it now, so they're outspoken and working really hard to be kind of, for lack,
better,
kind of popular in a different,
right,
in a more grown up, later in life way. It's just interesting. I was watching a couple of Rogan's guests, and they're like, I was such a loser when I was younger. I'm like, well, you're still a loser, especially if you think of yourself that way.
A couple of his guests.
Yeah, a lot of his guests, they were all underachievers, dorky, didn't do well in high school or couldn't find their way or whatever. And then at 25 or 30, they're I don't know, just start trying really hard to make up for lost time and become somebody instantly. They make their own secret sauce and start selling it and people buy it.
It just reached the level impotence, and then now there's one less thing to worry about.
Candace Owens came out of nowhere.
Ugh, God.
She reinvented herself, but by doing something.
Don't like her.
I think disingenuous. I don't either.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people know who she is.
Yeah, I think a lot of people laugh at her. I think she almost is out of the game again.
That's not my point, though.
Okay.
Right? Malice is amusing, but he's a loser. You know?
Poor Malice. Wow. I think he would agree. I mean, he would concede that. Like, he fucking lives in a...
He lives in his apartment. He doesn't go out. He's a fucking loser. I'm sorry. He wrote a book that people read. And, like, I'd love to, like, put a sticker on every one of these books, like, Dork Never Leaves Apartment.
Michael Malice, author of Dear Reader. Dork who never leaves apartment.
That's who he is, right?
Local dickhead.
The new right, you know. He makes me think of Karl Marx. Like I told you, like I was kind of when I was reading shit. I'm like sitting in the cold room at the wooden
he's
table
too
on the
academic
hard
for you.
chair. No, he's too
heady.
No, it's not that. He is too what's the word? He's a recluse.
Yeah.
How can you know about the world when you don't experience it? You just sit back and think you know about it and write a fucking book about it.
I think that's an over-exaggeration. I think he gets around. He does some, like, I don't want to say front lines. That's a very... If you're a journalist,
yeah, but when he goes in, he's going in as Michael Malice with the title, with, I don't know if he has an entourage, but for lack of a better way of putting it, with his entourage, and, it's some advertised thing, and he's going in as this persona he's created. The guy doesn't have the stones to go to a bar and talk to a hot chick as a nobody because he doesn't have the confidence as just a regular man.
Wow. That was rough.
I think if he saw this, he'd be like, he'd probably hate me, but no, I'm right.
Ooh. Wow. I like you, Malice. I'll let you take me on a date.
Oh, I'm amused watching him. He's funny. He's smart. But he's smart.
Here's the point. Let me jump in here. So I think he lives in a different world than you and I. You and I aren't in like the Twitter sphere, the Twitterverse. That's not where you and I exist. It's like that James Bond movie where it's like, they come from the very place that you speak of that doesn't exist, the shadows. It's like we don't know anything about the shadows, and it's like he comes from that. So his world isn't the bar where he meets a hot chick who he can fuck. It's like his world is the Twitterverse, which, whatever, you might say it's silly.
Yeah, but you know why?
Because he's a recluse.
Because he can't live in our world. So he has to live in his created world to make up for it, because he's got a brain that requires feeding, so he feeds his brain. But he's a fucking loser recluse. Sorry.
Recluse. You don't think it's path of least resistance, like water? Like, let me just fucking Twitter?
Sure, it's another way to put it, but it's the same thing.
Okay, that's fair.
Dude, come to the bar with me. You and I go to the bar. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to hang out and meet some people. I don't think so. That's not my gig. Wow, what a pussy.
I think I don't fucking know. I can't speculate on his personal life.
I mean, he's made comments like, I don't do that. I'm not good at it.
Oh, yeah. Well, he also claims partial autism, which, whatever, I don't think that would be
you can't have it both ways.
Sure.
I'm fucking brilliant, and I write books because I'm the smartest guy in the motherfucking world, or I'm a big fat loser, and I can't even talk to people. You can't have it both ways.
Fair enough.
Which guy are you?
Fair enough.
I'm autistic and I'm fucked up. No, I'm the smartest fucking guy in the world. I'm both. Whichever one suits me, I'm going to pick for the purpose of winning the social construct I'm in at that point in time. Loser.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That's not how I see it, but that's a fair analysis.
Okay.
I'll say that. Just because I don't think my defense has any chops right now.
I mean, he's smart and clever.
Yeah.
He amuses me.
He's very amusing. I fucking love his show.
He amuses me. Like a clown amuses me.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
damn.
That one.
Damn.
That I made up.
Oh, like a clown, one of those, like a blackface clown, like one of those.
No,
Chris loves that stuff.
Like just one of 40 guys who gets out of a fucking painted up Pinto. Just another guy with a big nose and oversized shoes.
Jesus Christ. He's Jewish. You can't talk about his nose like that.
Sorry, I retract the nose. Big rubber nose.
Wow.
Bam.
Chris, I'm the one with the vitriol. Now Chris today is the one firing shots.
I am firing shots.
He's just going, dunk. It's like,
yeah. Hey, man. Anyway. Anyway. I'm going to send this link to him.
Send it to him. Oh, fucking poor guy. If you send this to him,
Poor guy. Oh my God. How many people has he taken down?
He's gonna take us down. When you see, he'll be like, this fucking guy, Chris McKay. Look at this fucking show. He's gonna be like, go on Twitter and be like, look at these douchebags.
He'll do one or two things.
Or whatever.
He'll be like, I am not putting that on because this dude took me down. And oh, by the way, I'm fucking para/quadriplegic. I can get more chicks than you. And I'm over 50, loser.
God damn. He's like got to be close to 50. I think he's like 40. Oh no, he's probably 41.
Yeah,
I think he's 42.
40s.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean that literally, but I'm gonna send this link to like his PR guy or whatever.
He doesn't have a PR guy. He's his own guy.
Is he? Whatever. I'll get it to him somehow.
Send it to Compound Media. Compound Rehab.
Okay. Compound Rehab.
And then I love you, Mike. Don't ever. Excuse me, Mr. Malice. Don't worry what he's saying. I'm on your side.
Yeah, well, you're in your early 20s and I'm in my mid 50s, so, or maybe early 50s.
My
whatever.
birthday's on next Saturday. Today's Friday. It's 8 days from now.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I'll wish you a happy early birthday a week from tonight.
I expect a present. I'm just
Wow.
Around Christmas time, people are always asking me, "You ever get your shopping done?" And I always say, "No, I don't give gifts. I only receive them."
That's good. Anyway. I like that. I like that.
Anyway.
You know, 75% of the people who do watch this probably have no clue who Mike Malice is anyway.
Look him up. Michael Malice. He's a whatever.
Interesting guy.
New York Jew. You'll recognize him.
Wow, that was kind of harsh.
That's what he is. He looks like that. I have a problem with it.
Yeah. He was on Dave Rubin, and he wore like this white suit with no shirt underneath.
Yeah. Do you know who that was? Dressing up like?
I thought John Travolta, but
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, he said it's Tulsi Gabbard suit.
Yeah, with the fucking white hair.
Yeah.
And no shirt on. Yeah, I was like, whoa. But then I thought, does Tulsi wear like he should be wearing a shirt underneath that would be more accurate. She doesn't wear like
bra.
Boob.
He should wear like a tight.
Oh yeah.
He should wear one of those tight.
Where like come just barely above the.
Yeah.
God, that's hot.
Yeah.
Not in a man, not a Malice, but Tulsi any day.
Oh, that's the one part I didn't say. He is a sexy man.
He's a good-looking man.
He's a fine-looking man.
Tulsi followed him on Twitter.
Yeah. So, backing up. So you said he'll either like go on Twitter and
fuck us
roast
up.
me, whatever. That kind of PR is great PR.
So we should do it anyway, just to get shit on by all the Malice people.
Well, what's he gonna say?
I'm one of the dear readers. I can't fucking.
He's gonna say one of two things: the dude's right or he's wrong, and then I'd like to see how he addresses it being wrong.
I think
he
would
said,
just
"I'm
pull
not
some
good
petty
at
shit
social."
out.
No, he said it more than one show. I'm just not good at social
He'd be
stuff.
like, and this gentleman, quadriplegic, whatever, Chris McKay, goes on and says that I am socially retarded, and that is correct.
And they'll say, "Hey, dude, play me at chess." I'm
Moving
like,
on.
I can't pick up the pieces.
I win by default. I don't know. I don't think he would care. He'd probably be like, which is correct. And then say some snarky thing and then pivot. It's like next story. That's the play, bro. That's it.
I'm gonna get this out there.
Oh, God.
I don't know how. I'm gonna have to weave it into some Malice tweet. Like, respond to a tweet and say, "Read this, buddy."
You just have to
lose,
snip
man.
the clip and then just tweet that at him of us just sitting here like, man, he's a fucking faggot or whatever.
And you're just worried because if you ever run into him, you want to bow at his feet and tell him
I
how
met him.
awesome he is. Oh, you did meet him.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole, but understandably, so that's all right.
Well, that's his mantra.
Yeah, yeah, right. That's cool with me. I was like getting the full experience.
He might be. He seems like a perfectly nice guy.
Yeah, and I think I was being overly polite, which maybe he kind of like he went back on. And he's like, okay, fine. He's like,
Oh,
all right,
it wasn't like in a line book signing or something like that.
No, I went and watched his show at the at the studio.
Oh,
Live show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In New York?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So how many people? Like 20 or something?
No, it's literally just me and Gordy alone in the studio.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And then that's how I met Anthony Cumia. So he was like sitting on the couch after we left Malice's show. And that's where I met Gavin McInnes too. And Gavin told me that I'm a soft, weak man who would only get girls if I played the emotional friend who like
Shut up.
was there to fuck him like as a friend. Yeah.
to do the what do they call it? What's the fish? The cuttlefish? You're a cuttlefish?
Yeah, the beta fucking. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy. He's like, what? You don't want to be the emotional friend guy? And I was like, fuck you, no.
No, because all you're doing
Yeah.
is waiting.
Yeah.
It's just that's a waiting game. That is kind of yeah. Don't do that.
No. Yeah, but that's how I met him on. And when I met Kumia, he's like just lounging in like the green room, and I walk in there and
So
I'm
they're
like,
buddies.
oh, well, they all had the same. They're all at the same network.
Oh.
Kumia owns that network that Malice and McInnes used
So
to.
it's a studio in the place that they all work.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's
I
called
hate his
Compound
studio.
Media.
I hate his studio.
His with the wait, what's
It's weird.
Which one do you watch? Do you watch You're Welcome or do you watch Nightshade?
You're welcome.
Oh, see, that's at a different place.
But I mean, there's two boxes. And
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
like do this, don't, because
Yeah.
you lose the interaction.
Yeah, that's at Gas Digital. It's a whole different thing. But the guys who started Gas Digital used to work at Compound Media. So whatever.
I'm just saying the format of
Yeah.
the broadcast
Yeah.
is kind of weird to me.
No, Compound Media doesn't like this. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I met him. And so I go, oh my God, Anthony Cumia. And he goes, yes, I'm real. Like, kind of like a Norm MacDonald-y whatever joke. And I was like, that's fucking great.
Yeah, when you meet guys like that, you don't.
No, you can't.
I was at Aspen and I was in the food line and I look up and Ed Bradley's next to me.
I don't know who that is.
60 Minutes guy.
Mm. Where were you?
He retired.
Breckenridge?
Aspen
Oh,
Highlands in the middle of the mountain. And I looked up. I looked down first. Do you know what Dolomite's secret weapons are?
Dolomite.
They're boots.
Yeah.
Ski boots.
Yeah.
Secret weapons came up to like all the way up to the front of your knee and all the way up to the back of your calf.
And it was like a rear ejector.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I know shit.
But they came up really, really, really high.
Yeah.
And they were the only boots that were ever like that. And they lasted like 2 seasons. And they were, total flash in the pan. And he had them and he was wearing them, like years and years after they stopped selling them.
And you're like, bro,
So,
you fucking
and I'm
fake.
I'm not kidding. We're like,
Yeah.
brushing up against each other's ski coats. And I looked down and I'm like, oh, that's fucking Ed Bradley. I said, hey, Mr. Bradley. He's like, hi, young man, or whatever. And I said, so Dolomite Secret Weapons, that's interesting choice in boots. He's like, I love these things. And then we talked about his ski boots, and I moved on.
Have a nice day.
But
Yeah.
the point being, those guys want to be treated like peers. If you're like, oh, my God, you're Ed Bradley, you're 60 Minutes, I'll be like, please, I'm in Aspen.
Oh, yeah. I was
versus
yeah.
what the fuck are you skiing in, dude?
Those
Which
Darth
is the
Vader boots.
right,
Yeah,
which is the underlying tone of what I said to him.
What the fuck are you wearing?
And then I told you, the same
Yeah.
vacation was the Martina Navratilova.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, I think I remember the story now. But-
Yeah, where I said something inappropriate that I
Yeah.
can't say now.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Hey, lady.
Hi,
Who the
woman.
fuck are you cutting in front of us? Lady.
Totally deserve it. Yeah, who the fuck are you? So here we go. Tangent is a pivot. Ski people are just good, like nice like that. Like Ed Bradley. You don't think most people, if you just start talking about their gear, would be like totally into it at that moment?
Or getting grief about it, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, absolutely.
I talked to a guy about waiters
Yeah,
once. and
there
the
was
guy
a ski
like,
guy
yeah.
next to him. There was
Yeah.
like this young hotshot ski guy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he appreciated it. And it was kind of cool. He had an earring, which he didn't wear on air. So we're talking like, mid-'80s that this happened.
Wow.
And, in the 90s, sometime in the 90s, he started wearing his earring on air. I'm like, Ed Bradley has an earring.
Ed Bradley's gay? Sorry,
Anyway.
Mr. Bradley. Is he dead?
I don't think so.
That's a shame.
I don't think so. Anyway, I forget, but a lot of celebrity spots in Aspen and Vail.
Fucking Beaver Creek, dude, is where it's at. Beaver Creek is the shit.
Okay.
They hand out champagne and chocolate strawberries.
Yeah,
For
to
free.
everybody?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, not the plebs, but people like me. They're like, Mr. Houston,
I'm in Houston.
Mr. Houston, please, can we pamper you with more?
Charlie Houston, 8-balling.
Oh my god!
Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah, the day that happens, I'm just I'm just joking.
Oh, why?
I'm just kidding. I go, oh, it's over. I have nothing left.
Okay.
My secrets are out.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
No, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. All
I
right.
agree. Yeah.
Where are we on time?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
It's been blowing by.
It's been about an hour, but we got about 15 minutes.
Has it been an hour?
10 to.
Wow. So I got this Bernie stuff. Okay, so
Free college.
Bernie on Joe Rogan. So I don't know if I finished saying it, but I watched it 2 times since it was on in the summer. I'm pretty sure I said that. And I just started taking loosely kind of some, oh no, this is better. So Bernie said a number of things, some of which I wanted to address directly and some of which sent me off in tangents.
Don't quote me on this, but
Right. I don't have the notes in front. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but anyway, this is my little okay here. So you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this take on perspective. Are you aware that earlier in the week, I mean days ago, Lizzie Warren was someplace campaigning, and she said that somehow like a 9-year-old trans guy or girl whose parents were helping him or her transition, which is a whole other topic, but whatever, a 9-year-old trans kid who she was aware of, she said, so when I go through and pick my cabinet, when I pick my Secretary of Education, my final vetting is going to, she didn't word it quite like this, but said my final vetting is this person's going to have to interview with you to make sure you're appropriate. He or she's appropriate
Secretary
for the
of
job.
State?
Secretary of Education.
Oh.
No. But 9-year-old trans person.
Yeah, it should be in their hands.
It should be in
Just
their
like
hands.
how we should
So here's
listen
my
to a
point.
16-year-old
Here's my point.
on fucking climate change.
I'm watching Bernie on the Rogan show, and he is railing on student debt while he's talking about free college for everybody. Right? So he's talking about, you know, you can go bankrupt, and of all the things that are forgiven, that debt follows you for life. You know, just railing, get off my lawn, right? So he's like, at 18, they just say, sign the paperwork. And if you ask how much is it, they say, don't worry about it. Well, what's the interest rate and what do I have to pay back? Just sign. You're okay. He's like, 18 is too young to understand that kind of commitment. So wait, at 18, you don't have the presence of mind to say, how much is this? What is the interest rate? And what are the terms of paying this back? And then doing even some back of the envelope math and saying, all right, I'm going to come out of college, 150 grand in debt. My first job's going to be $50,000 a year. I'll be able to put 10% of that. Wow, that's like 25 years with no interest.
What you got to do is you got to throw that shit in an amortization schedule, which can be easily found online.
Yeah, but my point
sorry,
is,
go ahead.
at 18, you know, it's not fucking calculus.
No.
And it's a loan, and you're signing something. So at 18, he's saying you're not old enough to enter into that kind of contract and that kind of commitment.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's 17 now, but at 16, fucking Greta is in front of.
That's nonsense. Yeah.
So Greta should be listened to, right? And Lizzie Warren is going to a 9-year-old for final approval on her Secretary of Education, but an 18-year-old can't sign loan papers. You know what, you fucking people? Just pick something.
Well, Lizzie Warren and Bernie are two different people. I don't know that
get that.
I don't know that Bernie's ever been so staunchly in favor of Greta.
Yeah, but it's a collective.
Okay.
And I'm throwing a bunch of people into a pot, but it's fair because it's what everybody does. I mean, you have to generalize to make general points. So it's like, hey, you guys, fucking pick something, please. Please. 18 years old is old enough. 16, 17 is old enough. 9 is old enough. A 9-year-old is fucking vetting the Secretary of Education. Have you lost your freaking mind? And
that's
like
ridiculous. Yeah. Here's what I think. I think Elizabeth Warren's trying to pick up on the fucking psychotic Hillary Clinton vote, the social justice warrior.
She's grasping at straws, so.
But that's what she's going for. And Bernie goes for like the issue voters, right? It's a very different demographic. God.
Yeah. So Bernie made me.
Heart attack.
Bernie lost points with me for being
a Jew.
for being a New York Jew, as you put it.
I'm just kidding.
Is from Vermont, I think.
I don't
Oh my
fucking
God. He said another thing. He was talking about healthcare in Canada and how great it is and that it's free and on and on. And he goes, and by the way, I live 15 miles from the Canada border. Okay. You probably don't remember, but did you see the Katie Couric interview with Sarah Palin where she's like, I can see Russia.
Oh, yeah, Russia
I can
from
see
my
Russia
backyard.
right.
Or whatever it is,
From my
yeah.
house or whatever.
Well, I'm fucking hunting mooses, shooting them.
So when Bernie said, and I live 15 miles from the border,
Not unlike most Canadians.
what the fuck does that have to do with
Yeah, what is it?
anything?
I live so close to the border, I can smell the fucking cheese curds. Or whatever. I don't know.
I can hear the syringes giving vaccinations for free. I don't know.
baby crying.
I don't know what the hell that 15 miles. I live in Vermont. 15 miles. Okay.
I'm running in America
whatever,
and I
dude.
know what it's like to be a Canadian.
So
what?
because I live 15 miles from the border. Oh, okay. I live 20.
I'm going to
from
repeat
Windsor.
it. Not unlike most Canadians.
Hey.
Is that a bullshit stat that most Canadians live within 10 miles of the fucking border? Because I've been to Quebec.
No, those are generally very, very, very true statements. In like Australia, same thing. They all live in the cities around.
The edge, the
Yeah.
coast. Well, that makes sense because the center of Australia is like
Yeah,
a
but I mean-
fucking hellhole.
Uh,
Right? Right now, it's literally on fire.
That hasn't been in the news for several days. I thought about that tonight. I
Yeah.
wonder if it's settling down or, what's funny is when shit like that is in the news, when it gets fixed, they don't report that. They don't say, hey, Australia's out of the news now.
By the way, guys, hang on. It's done. Yeah, they do like a cleanup. They call that a weekend down date or a daily down date.
Really?
Well, it's like, like a daily update would be like an update on a story that you talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
yesterday. Whereas like a down date would be like, and nothing's happening anymore with the story.
But they
Moving on.
should. They should
Yeah.
say, hey, they've gotten ahead of the fires in Australia and, everybody's back to normal.
And I'm joking about
I'd want to
down
know
date. That's
that,
not a real
right?
thing. Yeah.
But they never report on that. Anyway.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So that was the Bernie thing. And then he was just so ill-informed. So ill-informed. So when he's talking further about free education, he says to Joe, so do you know how much college in California cost, 30, 40 years ago?
Fuck it.
And Joe's like, no, I don't. He goes, virtually nothing. And that's basically true. But, and Joe goes, really? He goes, yes, quote unquote, virtually nothing. And Joe goes, well, how much does it cost now? He goes, I don't know, but a lot. Really? That's your answer? You're running for the fucking presidency of the United States. I don't know, but a lot.
More than it was.
You brought it up.
And is that
It
due
costs
to
virtually
inflation,
nothing
Bernie?
now,
Yeah.
and it costs too much now. Well, what's too much? Well, I don't know, but it's too much.
I don't know, but it's more.
Right? And
fuck
the he was talking about, I was telling you this when we were watching CNN. He was talking about how Joe was like, the debates, and Bernie's like, you can't make a point in 40 seconds, and you certainly can't make a counterpoint in 12, which is totally fair.
Yeah.
And he said those debates are reality TV.
It's stupid. It's like a bit.
Which was actually kind of clever. That
No,
was
no, it
the
is.
one
Yeah.
clever thing he said.
Well, you ever think about that's like what the modern news cycle is. It's like bits. All right, you go. Boom. Talk about this for 10 seconds. All right, awesome. Next, you. What do you have to say about it? You had 25 seconds. Nope, too long. Next, we don't care about your opinion. What about you? 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's the definition of clickbait.
And the viewer is sitting at home going, "Oh God, yeah, this is great."
Wow, that's a little graphic.
Sorry,
there, bud.
I apologize. It's just like, but that's like, it's like feed me the shit. It's like give me like the fucking viewers just frothing at the mouth for that stuff. I think.
Absolutely.
When they design it, that was my. I apologize, but that was just supposed to indicate the kind of lust that the viewer has for.
On the receiving end is yikes.
Chris is going, no, not again. Forgive me.
I was halfway through the full point. I forget where I was.
Because I apologize. I
No,
didn't
it's
mean
all
to
right.
expose
It's all
myself.
right. Add a little excitement.
You're talking about the 10
Bernie.
second, 12
Oh,
second,
yeah,
48
yeah.
second. Yeah.
So Rogan said, well, how do they, how should you do it? Or how, he said, well, and he prefaced it by saying, don't hold me to it, but in Great Britain, every politician gets 30 minutes, and they can talk for as long as they want about if they want to spend the whole 30 minutes on health care, they talk about health care. And Joe goes, really? And he goes, yes, it's the law. So 3 to 5 sentences before, he says, don't hold me to this. In other words, I don't really know. But then he says, yes, like with complete certainty, quote unquote, it's the law.
Did we verify that?
No.
That was what we should do.
No, I finished watching it an hour before he got here. So, yeah, I think if we fact check it, I don't think it's going to be 30 minutes. I don't think it's going to be the law, and I don't think everybody gets it.
Well, doesn't fucking Britain has this weird shit anywhere. Their constitution is just like a spoken thing, right? It's just like these rules that we have that the body abides by. It's not like this written constitution like the United States.
It isn't?
Don't quote me on this, but it's the law. No, I have no idea. I think that's the case.
Don't hold me to it.
Don't hold me to it, but here's my fucking informed
So we got
opinion.
to fact check Bernie. But the whole way through, he was talking about healthcare.
Yeah.
So that's one of his big things.
Yeah.
He believes it's a quote unquote human right.
That's why it matters that he lives in
It's not a human right, and everybody in America should have it. I believe that, but I don't agree with pretty much anybody's plan of implementation. Not that I have one of my own, but anyway, he goes. So the conversation gets to a point where Joe's curious, and he says, "So, what kind of numbers are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, I don't have that right in front of me." Like, dude, your thing is healthcare. And he said 2 times when asked, what is fill in the blank? And he said, I don't have those numbers right in front of me. You need to know this shit. Yeah. It's your entire... Candidate, I mean, like, he has 3 to 5 major talking points, and he doesn't know the detail behind any of them. It's just all impassioned, we're fucked up, people need more.
Right.
And maybe we're fucked up, and maybe people need more, but dude, fucking have a plan and spout out some facts, or at least some bullshit ideas with some bullshit numbers, and try to fool me. He's not even trying to fool me.
That's a fucking common... I don't know why I'm cursing. Jesus. This stuff.
I don't know why I'm cursing Jesus. That's the quote of the week.
Now I'm all giggly bits. This is a very... We'll use a word that was used to describe myself. A glib. Right? Like it's a common thread on... at least for people that advocate for that kind of stuff. On that, I don't even want to say it like that. I guess just say it. On the left, it's very frequently this thing where it's like human health, healthcare is a human right. And then I get that a lot.
Guess what? If that were Hillary Clinton and you challenged her, bam, bam, she would take you down with facts and data and make you look like an idiot. Absolutely. That woman is smart and was prepared. Not always in the right way, but facts and data, she fucking had them. Smart woman, prepared woman, good politician.
She was prepared.
Bernie's running on fucking emotion and feeling.
I was going to make a Clinton murder joke, but that's fine.
Huh.
Yeah.
Needs to look into like her parabola formulas for
saying
like
she's prepared. Yeah, parabola formulas. She's like, all right, the bullet is going to go like this. And it'll hit Vince Foster right in the fucking back of the head, and then we'll be like, boom, he committed suicide.
Right.
No. Okay, the fucking human right thing. To me, it's like you are...
Ooh, this is a rabbit hole I'd love to go down.
You clearly have not thought this through. Like, there's one guy at my old job. I used to work at a pizzeria called Tomatoes Abits. Tomatoes Abits. It was a fucking amazing pizzeria. Very good. We had clients worth... of some value, stature, whatever. One guy, regular guy comes in, we're talking about shit, me and Jason, this guy, I shouldn't even say his name, but we're talking, and the guy, that comes up. So he says, yeah, things are kind of fucked up, but it's just, like, the right to be healthy is a human right. And I was like, whoa, dude, I'm, like, your bitch right now, you're a customer, and I'm, like, the waiter who gets paid $4 an hour. I'm like, dude, I can't fucking let you get away with saying that. I'm like, healthcare being healthy, being a human right is very different from paying forcing
And,
others to
well,
cover
wait,
your expenses.
So, and that wasn't the smartest statement because being healthy and getting health care are two completely different things.
Yeah.
And a perfect example, which you know a little bit of, is I took my shoe off last night and I had a toe that was bright fucking red.
Yeah.
My rights were violated by germs.
What the fuck? The germs are terrorists?
Right? I knocked my toenail off, and unbeknownst to me, and got an infection. That violated my rights.
We need to
these
drone
germs
bomb these
violated
germs.
my rights.
Yeah. Yes, that was the point that I was trying to make to the gentleman, and he clearly didn't understand that. And then I was like, and then he kind of left in a whatever, and like, you know, like that. Like,
Yeah, you know. It's
I'm like,
funny,
dude, I'm fucking 20 years old, and you can't. You're in your 50s, and you can't fucking beat me in a like an intellectual. I don't know. That bugged me even more that he was unwilling to attempt a rebuttal. But, and then a couple months later, he comes in, gives the other guy who was there that same day like a Christmas gift, like a bonus. And I'm walking around, you know, and I don't care about the money, but he the slight afterwards, he goes, he's handing the money over to the other guy, and he goes, "Get out of here, Trumpster." And I'm like, that fucking guy's the same as me. You don't even understand. You're giving him a bonus, and you think you're hurting. Like, you're just too stupid to know that he's the fucking same way as I am. And the guy like looks at both of us, then walks out. I just felt so great about that.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah, I was like, dude, like.
Oh, I thought you were playing what in your head what you wanted to say to him.
Well, it wasn't that graphic, but I was like, he's the same way as me. Like, you don't understand. Like, you're not getting back at me. He like agrees with me. He voted for Trump too. It's like fucking handing the money over, and he just like looks at me, looks at the other guy, and he just like,
I just gave away $100 to the whatever.
or whatever it was. Might have been a 20. I don't fucking
whatever.
care. But
right.
the point is, like, don't open your fucking mouth if you're not prepared to.
Yes. Yeah, but you said something, and I said that's a rabbit hole I'd love to go down.
Oh yeah, the human right thing.
Yeah.
It's not a human right.
Does a human right even exist?
Human right not to be raped.
What is a...
I'm just joking. My sister will like to talk about that one on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
What does she think is a human right? I mean,
Doesn't
I
really
would argue
exist.
that I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, let's go back to caveman time. What's a right? You know?
It's an artificial.
At what point in like humanity did, right? Because in every other species, mating is rape. So at what
Cats,
point
ducks,
in like
yeah.
human development did
It's like gotta pair off.
mating / rape go to like making love or having sex? Right?
Feel like
and that's and
making
then that's subjective. Right?
Yeah.
So what's a right?
Oh, baby.
Water? I'm not giving you a tequila next week.
Sorry.
You're over there doing what's the...
I don't know his fucking name. I agree. No. I was just trying to finish a joke. But yeah, I agree.
Bernie White.
What is a
Bernie
right?
White imitation.
I think that all rights it's artificially created by a governing body or an entity.
I mean, what's in the Constitution? The right...
bear firearms. To bear arms.
No. This, that, and pursuit of happiness.
Oh,
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
yeah.
So
Which
you have,
isn't
you have
much.
the right not to be killed. That's all that's saying. Not
Yeah.
to be killed. Not to be like shackled, literally, and
Yeah.
and kind of metaphorically, and to pursue happiness.
Meaning like
I
not being.
I think those are good. I think that's a perfect jumping off place. And that's saying in this country.
Yeah.
In our club, we say these are your inalienable rights.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's what I'm
healthcare-
saying. That's otherwise it would be the same everywhere.
So, like our friend Noah, who we should have back here. Let's see. Did I tell you what I thought of him? My nickname for him is Noah the Shapeshifter. I'm a communist.
joking.
I'm a whatever. What did he come on as?
Libertarian socialist.
Libertarian socialist. So
now
let's
he'll
have.
just be a socialist again next
Well,
time.
he will have shape-shifted into whatever. But anyway,
A Bernie socialist. I'll put money on it.
But the way he put it was, I don't think in this country, he said, I don't think anybody should die of a curable disease or live their life in debt to bad health. I agree with that. Per capita, the wealthiest country on earth. But then you get into really, so if you're 90 years old and you're diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor.
Yeah.
But you still want radiation and chemo, and it's going to cost $500,000, and you're 90. And the radiation and the chemo are going to get you a couple more months, and they're going to cost $500,000, where you could maybe give 2 people in their 30s a couple of kidneys. What do you do? Slippery slope. Not a slippery slope. Tough call.
That's a trolleyism argument. Yeah.
Yeah, total trolley argument.
Trolleyology, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. And the government shouldn't be involved in that decision.
Or maybe they should. Maybe there should be death panels. Or a death book.
You mean like Constitution of Death?
Well,
obligation of death or whatever the fuck. You could even do like cost analysis of the human life.
Again, if you're 90, which is in today's years a lot of years,
if you're the accountant
and you're gonna die,
yeah,
right? We're all gonna die, right? But we treat ourselves to live longer in our good years, and we do more than that, right? Keeping somebody who's 90 alive for 6 months instead of 3, is that money well spent? Again, where you may better allocate that money to somebody who's younger.
Okay, here's what I think about that. I don't even mind if there's necessarily a cost analysis, like cost benefit analysis on that, like from like a group of accountants who are just like, all right, this guy's 90 years old. He's got, a net worth of whatever the fuck it is. When he dies, there's going to be a 40% death tax on him, which we can allocate towards yada, yada, yada. Now, if we have these 2 people who are 30 years old, they're going to live for this long
That's
and
even
generate
more
this much in
Machiavellian.
tax. Well, I'm just saying that's
No,
what it
I like
comes
it.
down
Keep
to.
going.
No, because you're going to be... The whole point of it is you're allocating funds based on what? Some merit of some kind? No, because the 90-year-old's not going to get it unless it's fucking, I don't know, George Bush. Who cares? Obama,
No, yeah.
So you got to look at it on some sort of a government. What makes the most sense for us is going to be to the people who are going to recuperate these costs within their lifespan. Whereas this 90-year-old fuck is just going to die and give us $100,000 when he dies or whatever.
Yeah, no, and that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point. So
I wouldn't mind that.
So if access to health care, period, and it starts and ends with that statement, according to Bernie, is a right, then, I mean, you're talking about like the administration of just infinite care.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That
Hey,
is
this
bad.
guy has 30 bullet holes in him. He's going to die.
I love Dr. Frankenstein.
Well, get him on the operating table and try, because he's got that right. He's going to die.
Yeah.
Get in there. Get a team. Get 100 surgeons in there. He's got that. He's got the right to live. You're telling me there's not a 1 in a million chance he could pull through it? Yeah, there's 1 in a million. Well, then get the fuck on it.
Well, that was where I wanted to stop you earlier, where Noah said no one should die of a curable disease. I'm like, there's shit that is curable that we are yet to have the ability to cure, right? Like,
yeah, I think he would have been reasonable with that.
I'd be like, what about fucking coronavirus? They're saying 9 months. Everyone who dies from that, it's like we got to allocate every penny until we figure that out within that 9 months, man.
What for?
They're saying 9 months before vaccination. Yeah. So, by the way, that coronavirus shit's no joke.
Why?
I don't know, Gordy. Actually, I don't even know what I think about it. Gordy's just been chatting my fucking ear off about it.
I heard one doctor say, look, I think it's something like 20,000 people.
10,000 currently have it.
No, 20,000
yesterday.
people have already died from the flu.
Oh.
Like, the flu is a bigger deal right now.
This year?
Like, wash your hands and get a fucking flu shot.
Yeah.
And don't worry about coronavirus, at least not in the United States.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's my thinking. But like, apparently yesterday was 10,000, and I'll be interested to see what it is today.
Oh yeah, the incubation period's like 2 weeks.
What do they call it? The serial number? I don't know. It's like the rate at which the disease of infected people doubles. I don't know. Whatever. But
yeah,
it's like a week. I think is the number. 7.4 days. It's like
is
7
the incubation
days.
period?
No, it's the doubling period. So
Oh.
like a week from yesterday, it would be 20,000, and then 40,000, and then
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't. One of the things that one of these docs said on TV was because you got to believe everything here on TV.
it's all real.
Is he's like, this could. He said, so we've documented. However, how many cases did you say it is?
Yesterday was like 9,800.
9,800. So there's 10,000 cases. He said, we don't know how bad or bad this is or not. He said, a lot of people could get a sore throat and a cough and they're over it. So he's maybe, if maybe 100,000 people have already had this and gotten over it. You don't know. But if there's a flu outbreak, right, the flu kills people.
Yeah.
The flu kills people. The one person who contracted it from their partner in the United States was over 60 with already compromised immune issues. So somebody caught it in America, it spread in America. Well, yeah, the dude was older and had some problems. Anyway, so we don't know.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah.
I mean, this is like a carbon copy of SARS. It's scary and it's real, but I don't know. It's not time to panic in the U.S.
No, because U.S. is the best.
Plus, we shut down. Yeah, they're concerned in. The U.S. has hospitals and strategies and containment. Like, we had the antiviral drugs. We kept people alive who got Ebola without a vaccination, with just general antivirals and good care.
It's like Dr. House working the case.
Yeah. House, man. I hate that show.
I actually like that show.
That guy bugs me.
I have a friend who works
what Sherry
at a hospital.
said?
What?
She said he bugs you because he's a know-it-all and you are too, and you can't stand looking at him. So I watched the whole episode. I'm like, there may be some truth
You're like,
to that.
fuck, she's right.
Yeah.
That's funny, but I have a friend who works at a hospital, and I texted him this morning because me and Gordy were talking about it. Gordy's my brother, by the way. We're talking about it. And I go, I texted Derek. I said, hey, as soon as you know anything about the coronavirus here in Michigan, you give me a heads start so I can go buy some ammo and hunker down.
Oh, I thought you were going to say have the ability to blow your brains off.
I'm fucking shooting motherfuckers before I kill myself.
Okay. I was thinking, you
Steal
cough
a
up
fuel
a hunk of
truck
lung and just
take
yourself out.
There's some scary videos out there. People in China just like doing one of these. They're standing, and it's just like
They fall over.
flat
And
on their
they're saying
fucking
that's
face,
coronavirus?
and they're dead. Yeah, it's spooky. It's like some World War Z shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That Gordy showed you.
No, that I showed him.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just fucking weird. It's like people wearing masks.
yeah, but that was
Yeah.
SARS, and I think there was one other. I forget. Maybe the avian flu.
Yeah, that was a big one. I think it's designed. This coronavirus is designed to kill off avian flu, right?
I don't know.
In bats. So they put the feed. I don't fucking know. Never mind.
It had something to do.
Scratch all
had
that.
something to do with chickens in a marketplace, though, didn't it?
Oh, so there you go. So the chickens were dying from the avian flu, and they invented the corona. Well, invented. I don't know. It was. I heard it was a biological, like a man-made pathogen, and then I was also hearing that it was like a naturally occurring thing. I don't know. I'm not a fucking whatever that is. I didn't waste my life doing that. Not that doctors wasted their lives. Let me point that out. But apparently it was designed to kill off the fucking avian flu that was just killing all these chickens, and then like spread and got into some bat soup, which turned out to be bad.
It morphed,
Soup.
and now it's back.
Killing people.
Well, it showed up originally in the 60s. Just like did a quick Wikipedia read.
Yeah.
So it's not new.
Yeah.
It's just newly bad.
Well, they restructured it so that it could target avian flu. Maybe not.
Don't know.
Sorry, guys.
Don't know.
All I know is that America's the best, and no one here is getting that shit.
Knock on wood. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I
right.
was looking for. It's louder through the headphones. All right. Should we call it?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have anything else?
I'm good.
All right.
All right.
No tequila next time.
Okay. No tequila for you. I didn't have the music queued up and ready to go. So we are out. Later. Have a good weekend, people. What's my issue? Right.
America.
There we go. Later.